Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Max24, and over the weekend, the 94th Oscars occurred. Now, a lot of stuff happened during the Oscars. A lot of stuff. I'm going to go over a recap of who won, what happened, the jokes, the bad stuff, the controversies, all of that jazz right here. Before we that, please don't do to drop a like, comment, subscribe to the fans, and all that jazz, all the fun stuff us YouTubers tell you guys to do. Follow me on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I have most on Twitter and TikTok, so no on Facebook. Barely on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, card to me here. And with that, let's get into the 94th Oscars reviewed. So last year, I reviewed the 93rd Oscars, and that was a train wreck. That was a complete train wreck. It felt like an investors meeting. It was not fun at all. There was no host. There was barely any jokes. They didn't even show the nominees. The performances were There was a lot that happened there. All right, it was not a good Oscars. The 94th Oscars had a lot to prove. It really did. It had to come back and wow us all and get people to care about the Oscars again. And I think overall it succeeded in that. I do. The viewership numbers were up 60%, up to 16 million at the time of recording this. That's the current number. They're slowly updating it once they figure out more people and, get all the data from all the... I don't know how it works. I don't know how they analyze viewership numbers. But the viewership numbers were definitely up from last year, which is a good sign that people were more interested this year than they were last year. Another good thing is that they brought back the host. There was 3 hosts this year. Amy Schumer, Wanda Sykes, and Regina Hall were the hosts this year. 3 of them now. They were good. They were interesting. All right, some of them were funny. It was probably the most I've ever laughed at Amy Schumer's jokes. But not my pick for host. I think having 3 hosts is a little too much. I think it should be 1 to 2 hosts, 1 to 2 hosts. Gotta get like that Hugh Jackman in there again. Or Ellen's year was fun. We don't like Ellen anymore, but her year was fun. But the 3 hosts did a really good job of bringing levity to this Oscars again and making it more fun and making it more of a cohesive show. They helped break it up with skits, with funny things. At one point, Amy Schumer extended herself from the ceiling as Spider-Man. That was kind of funny to see. They did some jokes about seat fillers. People didn't like that joke. It was a joke. I didn't care. They did some jokes, some weird jokes involving some of the male actors, all right, and how they wanted to test them for COVID in the back using their tongue. So that was a weird joke. There was some weird jokes. There were some jokes that fell flat, but overall, it was a lot more fun Oscars to watch than last year. The performances, for the most part, were good. They had a couple performances. Beyonce performed her song from King Richard. Wasn't a big fan of the performance. I mean, it was good, but not a big fan of the song, so wasn't a big fan of the performance. She performed it in Compton on the tennis court that Venus and Serena Williams apparently practiced on. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's where it was. So she's her song was like zoomed in, was like presented in to the telecast. They performed Dos Oruguitos from Encanto that was nominated. Really good performance, probably one of my favorite performances of the night. They had 2 dancers on stage. They had him singing. They performed We Don't Talk About Bruno, I guess. That was a performance that wasn't good. It wasn't good, all right? They hyped up We Don't Talk About Bruno is going to be performed for the first time ever live on stage. I don't know what that was, that We Don't Talk About Bruno, all right? That they cut out most of the song. They had a weird rap section, and it just wasn't good, all right? It was a bad representation of the movie version, and I didn't like it. They also performed No Time to Die. Billie Eilish performed that. It was the James Bond theme song. Really good performance, I think. I believe those were all the performances that were done. Maybe there was another one. I mean, there was the In Memoriam performance, which last year the In Memoriam was upbeat. It was a really upbeat. It was a Guitar Man or something. Really upbeat, going like a mile a minute. It was like, this person died, this person died, this person died, this person died. They did better this year. It was definitely not as fast-paced, upbeat. But it was... They don't understand the point of an In Memoriam, I don't think. I still don't think they understand what an In Memoriam is. I don't know why. Because the music was good this year for the In Memoriam. They had everybody, for the most part, in it. But the camera decided to look at the dancers on stage than it did the names of the people who died. I'm not here to watch the people dance and sing. I'm here to see who died. I'm here to see who died. And they made speeches about 2 of the people who died, and I'm like, okay, but I'm here to see who died. Just let me see. I don't care about what's going on stage. I want to see the people who died and listen to the sad sound of music and remember these people and what they did for us. It was weird. Now, before the show started, there was a little bit of controversy surrounding the fact that they were cutting 8 categories from the actual thing. They were gonna do those 8 categories at the beginning of the show, and then they were gonna before the show even started, during the red carpet, and they were gonna intersperse those speeches and those categories throughout the actual telecast. They were gonna edit the speeches down, edit that entire category down, and put it in the telecast. And they did that. Those 8 categories, they wanted to do it as a time saver. I didn't have a huge problem with them interspersing them into the telecast. I would have had a bigger problem if they did those 8 categories and they just announced them on Twitter and that was it. But they actually interspersed the speeches throughout the telecast. There was a lot of controversy around that, but they still got the recognition. Sure, they didn't get the recognition in front of everybody, but they got it on the live performance, so they got it. We know who won those categories. But it was done in a safe, in a way to cut time and time-saving purposes. It didn't work. No, the show was longer. It was longer than last year by like 30 minutes. What happened there? It was longer. Where was the length? Where'd the length come from? I don't get it. How was it longer? You cut out 8 categories. How was it longer? As for those categories, for the most part, people who I thought were going to win won. For Dune swept most of the technical categories. It got best sound, best visual effects, best production design, and best film editing. That was obvious. All right, Dune was going to sweep all those categories. Best makeup and hairstyle went to the eyes of Tammy Faye. Haven't seen that. The fan favorite and most cheer-worthy moments, those were like the big thing they were doing this year, where fans can pick the winner of this. Now, there's some false information going on the internet that the fan favorite and the most cheer-worthy moments actually won Oscars. They didn't get an Oscar. They did not get a trophy. It was simply an acknowledgement of these movies and what people liked, what the fans liked, what people were cheering for in the theaters or on the couch as far as what one won. But they didn't win an Oscar. So it was simply a Twitter campaign that was going around with hashtags. There was no trophy given to these. Fan favorite was Army of the Dead. Most cheer-worthy moment was The Flash entering the Speed Force in Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now, again, I'm seeing on social media, people were like, did the Oscars change what it means to win? Because Zack Snyder's Justice League was a streaming-only thing, and you're supposed to release in movies. And did they change it to give this Oscar to them? No. They didn't get an Oscar. Fan favorite and most cheer-worthy moments did not get Oscars. They didn't. There was nothing changed. It was simply an acknowledgement of what fans are cheering for and what fans are watching. That was all it was. There was no trophies. As far as best costume design, that went to Cruella. No surprise there. Those costumes were amazing. Best live action short film, The Long Goodbye. Haven't seen it. Best animated short film was The Windshield Wiper. Again, haven't seen it. Best short documentary was The Queen of Basketball. Again, haven't seen it. The best adapted screenplay. These are screenplays that are adapted from source material, so movies so books or plays or telenovels or I don't know, anything that it takes a source and adapts it for the big screen. Went to Coda. Coda is a remake, I guess, of another film, I guess. I didn't know that. Best original screenplay went to Belfast. Wasn't a big fan of Belfast, but all right. Best original music score went to Dune. Of course, that's Hans Zimmer. Best original song went to No Time to Die by Billie Eilish. I think that makes sense. All right, it's the James Bond theme song. What James Bond theme song doesn't win, but it should have gone to like Dosa or Grutos or something, but you know, who am I to say? Best international feature film, Drive My Car. This was an obvious one because Drive My Car was nominated for Best Picture, so I wouldn't win Best International Feature Film. All right, you nominate for Best Picture. It's pretty obvious. Well, what's going to win International Feature Film? It's not hard to figure out. Best Documentary Feature was Summer of Soul. Haven't seen it. Best Animated Feature Film was Encanto. That was 3 of the 5 nominees were Disney, and I was really hoping that either Flea or Mitchell vs. the Machines would take that because Disney literally dominated that category. They won. I think Mitchell vs. the Machine was better than Encanto. I think Flea was more engaging than Encanto as far as story-wise because Flea was a real story. But I guess Encanto, because everyone loves Disney. Best Supporting Actor was Troy Kotsur, the first deaf man to win this award. He's deaf. He's hard of hearing. He can't hear. Coda is a movie about the deaf community. It's a movie about the one hearing person in the family trying to do what she wants to do in life while also doing what she feels her family needs her to do. So this went to the first deaf man. It was a big thing, and he went on stage. He was a great actor. He was phenomenal, and I wanted to cry when I saw him on stage accepting his award. It's kind of funny because at first he was up there and he was holding the Oscar, and then the person who presented the award was like, "Yeah, I'll take that," because he needs both his hands. But yeah, it was to sign. But yeah, it was really nice to see. I loved seeing that. It's just first. I love when Oscars do first. And if you haven't seen Coda, go watch Coda. It's on Apple TV. Best Supporting Actress went to Ariana DeBoy. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. For West Side Story. First openly queer person of color to win that award. Fantastic. Awesome. Love those first. She was great in West Side Story. One of my favorite performances in West Side Story. Rightly deserved. Will Smith won Run for King Richard for Best Actor. I'll get back to that in a second. That's how I'm going to end the show. This video, you'll just have to, yeah, there's a lot there. But Will Smith won it. He was a fantastic actor in King Richard. He was really good at portraying Richard Williams. That movie was really good. I don't really like sports biopics, but he did it well. Best Actress went to Jessica Chastain in The Eyes of Tammy Faye. Haven't seen it. Best Director went to Jane Campion for The Power of the Dog. Not a big fan of Power of the Dog, but some people are. So, Best Cinematography, of course, went to Dune. That was some phenomenal shots. And then this one surprised me. I was hoping that this one would win, and when it did, I was shocked because I didn't think the Academy would do this. But Best Picture went to Coda. Fantastic movie. A lot of people are calling it a Hallmark movie. It's so much better than a Hallmark movie. Calling it a Hallmark movie is not giving it enough credit. This is just, I don't know what to say about it. It's a phenomenal movie. It's got a lot of heart. It'll have you cry. It's great representation for the deaf community, and having it win Best Picture is huge. But yeah, there was a lot of awards that I was like, yep, that makes sense. A lot of awards that I agreed with this year, and the host made it funny. The presenters made it funny, but it wasn't without controversy. Besides the 8 categories that got cut and interdispersed, Will Smith went on stage and slapped Chris Rock on stage before sitting back down and cussing him out. Yeah, it was the only thing anybody could talk about. You've probably heard of it. Even if you haven't watched the Oscars, you know this happened. Now, what exactly happened was Chris Rock came on stage to present the category for, I think, Best Documentary, I believe is what he was presenting. Yeah, I mean, who even remembers at this point, because that overshadowed everything. But Chris Rock came up on stage to present that award, and he made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith saying that he can't wait to see her in G.I. Jane 2. Now, what this means on G.I. Jane, she's bald. She's bald, G.I. Jane. Jada Pinkett Smith is going bald. That was the joke. That was the joke. But there's a lot to do with that because Jada Pinkett Smith is going bald due to a disease, alopecia, I think is how you say it. So she has a condition where her hair is falling out and disappearing. And Chris Rock made a joke about that. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith weren't happy about said joke. And Will Smith proceeded to walk up on stage, slap Chris Rock, walk back down, sit down, and tell him to keep his wife's name out of his effing mouth. Twice. So, people were shocked. People were really shocked. It was all over the news, all over social media right away. At first, everyone was thinking, is this a bit? Is this a bit? I thought it was a bit at first, too. I was like, haha, funny. And then the cussing happened, and the broadcast cut out the sound, and things happened. Chris Rock didn't seem happy. Will Smith was definitely not happy. And that, yeah. So it was not a bit. It was not a bit. There's some people still there being like, it was staged, but come on now. Come on. It was not staged. It was not staged. But Will Smith was not kicked out. He was not escorted out by anybody. And instead, he won Best Actor. And he went on stage and made a speech, tears, saying that when he has to defend his family and when the devil will come when he's at his highest and all this other stuff. he apologized to the Academy, but he didn't apologize to Chris Rock. Today he apologized to Chris Rock, and he apologized to the Academy, but then right there in the moment he didn't. Now, there's a lot of people being like, he won Best Actor? What the hell? The Oscars are gonna let him come out there, slap Chris Rock, and then they're gonna give him an award? So first off, the awards are decided like weeks in advance, and nobody knows the award winners besides two people. They usually tell us that speech about the accounting firm that does the awards and all this other stuff. They didn't know Will Smith was going to win. They had no idea. I mean, he was highly likely to win, but they had no idea. It wasn't like they were in the backstage being like, "Oh shit, Chris Rock and Will Smith are fighting. Let's give Will Smith the award. Let's give it. Come on." No, that's not what happened. Will Smith winning the award was decided weeks in advance, and they didn't know he was going to win. They had no idea. They had zero idea he was going to win, except for two people. Two people knew. 2 or 3 people. The accounting firm knew. They knew who was going to win. And nobody was going to be like, oh, go on stage, open it up, and be like, Will Smith won, but rip it up. Sorry, no. He just slapped Chris Rock. He can't win. Let's give it to the runner-up. Runner-up. Yeah, no, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that, all right? And now I've seen on social media people calling for, oh, Will Smith is going to get his Oscar removed. There is no precedent for removing Oscars. The Academy has never taken an Oscar away from anybody. Will Smith's actions at the Oscars last night are of no way indication of how good of a performer he is, all right? He was fantastic in King Richard. Just because he had a very human moment that he didn't necessarily think through all the way, he shouldn't have his Oscar taken away. That has nothing to do with his performance as King Richard. They've never taken an Oscar away. Now, what will probably happen, and this is what will most likely happen, and I think the Academy has to do something because, yes, Chris Rock made a bad joke. It was not a very friendly joke. It was an insulting joke at the Smith family's expense. But Will Smith should not have gone up on stage and slapped him. He could have taken him aside. He could have, during the ad break, he could have told him to stop. He could have even yelled to stop. He could have yelled bad joke or something. Going up on stage and slapping him, that's where he was in the wrong. Again, he could have slapped him in the bathroom during the ad break. But going up on stage in front of millions of people and slapping him, no, that wasn't wrong. That wasn't right. And the Academy is going to do something about that. They're going to give repercussions. Now, again, they're not going to take away his Oscar. They wouldn't take away his Oscar. There's no precedent for taking away Oscars. But they'll probably either suspend him so he can't come to the Oscars next year, or fine him. Maybe ABC will fine him for the cussing because they're not allowed to do that on live TV. Maybe the Academy will fine him, or they'll just ban him from the Oscars for next year. It's probably not going to be a permanent ban. His career's definitely not going to be ruined by this. There's a lot worse things he could do. If he walked up on stage and killed Chris Rock, yes, his career would be done. All he did was, in a very human moment, he slapped him. That was it. They're not going to ruin his career. They're not going to take away his Oscar. There's no precedent for either of those. So, that was all anybody could talk about, and it definitely made the show memorable. But the rest of the show was really good, I thought it was a step up from last year. I think that next year could be even more of a step up. If they get Chris Rock and Will Smith to co-host, they're going to get so many views. They're going to get so much viewership. Everyone's going to want to know who gets beat up next year. But yeah, that was the 94th Oscars. Let me know if you watched it, if you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a step up from last year. I thought it was better than what we've seen, and I think it's a really nice progression to where the Oscars are going to go from here. I can't wait to see that. I want them to continue doing these hosts. I want them to do better musical performances because this was weak. I want them to figure out what's going on with the In Memoriam section. Whoever's in charge of that doesn't understand what that is. All right? It's not a party. Nope, there's nothing in the word In Memoriam says party. No, it's not a party. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Again, let me know what you thought of the Oscars. Let me know what awards you were happy about. Let me know what people you thought got snubbed or the awards were stolen from them. Let me know all of that. I hope you enjoyed. I hope to see you in the next video.